Somebody said to me the other day, when choosing your greatest strength, all you are really doing is choosing your weakness. I'm going to explain that right now. What that means is, once you devote your time into any one skill, you are automatically creating your own downfall in another area. Okay? So, everyone says this self-improving, self-improve, self-improve all the time, right? The only problem is, no matter what you self-improve in, you will be lacking in something. You have to. And this is, excuse me, this is what I consider the self-improvement trap. Because no matter what you do, you will have some area that you will be behind in. You have to be. So, what I'm getting at here is, if you train with weights all the time, and that's your main thing, you're not going to be good at cardio. And if you're really good at cardio, you're not going to be really good at training with weights, lifting heavy objects. And if you're really good at, what's it called? If you're really good at body weight exercises, um, calisthenics, couldn't think of what it was called for a second. If you're really good at calisthenics, you're not going to be really good at your classic lifts, right? If you're really good at calisthenics, you're not going to be really good at bench pressing because you train movements, not muscles. I think everyone kind of knows this by now. You train movements, not muscles. For example, I'm really good at dips. I'm really good at dips. I'm really good at pull-ups. I'm really good at curls and etc. We're working on the lateral delts. Um, but I will probably never be good at bench press. I'm just not. I think my arms are too long to be good at bench press. Um, but yeah, if you practice all kinds of solitary skills, you'll not be good at team skills, right? I think it's pretty normal idea to say these things that no matter what you choose, you're inevitably choosing your own weakness. Um, just is what it is. If you're really good at art and you practice art, you'll be very poor at practical problems. And if you're a very hypothetical or theoretical person, you won't be very good at a logic based argument or a practical argument. And I think these are just true. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes here as to what you choose to do. You do what you want to do. Honestly, I'm beyond the point of caring about most of this stuff because I realize my own problem is probably that I think a lot. Okay, I think a lot. I think more than I need to. Now that could be my strength, and that could also be my weakness. But the issue here is, no matter what you do, you inevitably lose in some way. Unless you practice at all, you want to be a jack of all trades, then you should do that. Because being a jack of all trades actually is probably one of the best ways to live in a practical sense, in a non-work related sense. Because If you can do a little bit of everything, that is definitely useful. Because if you can do a little bit of cardio, you can do I'm talking moderate level. If you're moderate at cardio, you're moderate at strength training, you're moderate at practical, you're moderate at theoretical, you're moderate at um, arts and theoretical and the creatives, and you're moderate at the practicals like physical labor, you can get many different career paths. You can get many different ways to go about your life, actually, because you have just more options and you can train up. If you already have a base understanding of a concept, you can train up to be a moderate at it or a intermediate skill level, which is always good. It's always a good idea. So here's what I'm getting at with this video. You need to figure out where and what you want to do and how you want to do it. And this is my advice for people that are my age, Gen Z people. I also really wanted to make this video because I'm really tired of talking about dating and dating dynamics. That has been like the main topic for a pretty long time. And I'm also at the point, much like a lot of Gen Z people, where I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this dating shit. This concept of what you have to do to even be on the dating market. Like, I'm not looking at all. I'll be totally honest with you. I'm not looking for dating or any of that shit at all. If it comes to me, it comes to me. If some chick walks into work and wants to chat me up, good. I'll talk to her. Um, but otherwise, I'm not gonna go out and approach women. I'm too fucking tired, bro. I'm too tired, and that's the thing that I feel like why if you are a jack of all trades, it's better for you to be that in the workforce because if you just hate your job, I think you'll have an easier time escaping it because you are a jack of all trades. Like my one friend that used to work at my job he was a jack of all trades kind of guy. Um, because like I said, we work at the gas station, and he doesn't anymore. But I saw him just yesterday. He came in on Christmas Day. You jerk. Um, he does gutters now. He does gutters and roofing, and I feel like if you have some type of already like you have an idea of what you're doing, you have a much easier time getting a lot of jobs. Because if you go, well, I have never done that. I have no idea what I'm doing. You're not confident in that field of idea, then you won't even consider that job opportunity. And like I said to my father the other day, excuse me again, I'm at the point where I'm considering a lot of things at the same time. I'm considering going to trade school. I'm just taking a loan going to trade school. And he was like, well, you can't. He was telling me my father is a very, I don't know if I'd say nihilistic, but he's kind of a downer person. And I love my father because, it's all I got left, honestly. But anyway, um, what was I saying? He was like, you can't really stack money because nobody can do that. He says, I don't have anything saved. And my father's 50 years old. He's about to be 51 this year, this August. And I don't want to turn out like my dad. I really don't. I'm not saying that because my father's a bad guy, but I'm saying that because I can see what happened to him, and it would be bad to live like this, especially in 2025 and beyond. because after what happened to my mother, he doesn't really have anything. And I feel so bad for him because, mom passed and he's got like no reason to live. He really doesn't. Like I'm not saying he's going to like commit suicide or anything, but he's got nothing, you know what I mean? He's got no friends, he's got no real family. All the family he has lives across America. They all moved away and his mom and dad both passed. They both passed away. Um, I think in the hospital actually, and it's just demoralizing to kind of see this happen to somebody. You know what I mean? Like he's got nothing. He's really got nothing, and I don't know what else to say. I feel so bad for him, but I feel like if I can get my stuff together and get my ducks in a row before the rubber hits the road, I think I'll be good. And I was even that's the thing that concerns me. I was talking to him last night, and he's at the point where he's tired of my conversations and hypotheticals around surrounding life, and he was like, "Oh, you bitch all the time," and I was like, "I'm not bitching. I'm a person who thinks a lot, right?" And I think he's from a time where that wasn't common. I'm not an overthinker, at least I don't think I am, like I said in previous videos, but he's from a time where the entirety of life was all hands on material, right? And I try to be that way. I try to, when I do my reading, I like to do it through an actual book or through an actual physical medium. I don't like reading things online. I kind of don't. Like, I honestly enjoy reading the newspaper way more than I enjoy reading any web article. Because I can actually hold it and it's tangible and I can touch it, right? And that feels more engaging to me than just reading it on a screen. But I was saying to him yesterday, I was like, you know what, man? I said, because I've been talking so long about, the idea of getting married and having kids. I was like, honestly, I don't even know if it's worth doing that anymore. And he was like, oh, here we go again, right? So if you have a dad, I'm sure he says that to you as well. But I said to him, I said, well, the thing with having kids is there's so many ways that it can just go wrong, essentially. I said, because the woman you choose has to be essentially like your soulmate, dude. Because if she's not, you're fucked. Like literally, you're screwed. Because if you have kids with a woman who's not your soulmate, say goodbye to half of everything you own and say hello to some divorce papers. Because that's just how it goes. You know, there's so much wrong that can go wrong very quickly in marriage and having children. And I said to him, I said, I don't know that having kids in this time would even be worth it, because, dude, what do we got? I said to him, I said, I feel like society goes on major upturns and then major downturns. And I said, and the major downturn only started about 10 years ago. And it's going to continue for at least another 10 to 20 years. So I will be 30 to 40 before the downturn is even over, right? This is going to be one of those hard times points in history. Nowhere near as bad as World War One and Two, but similar standing among young men probably, where it feels like the majority of what you do has no meaning. But at least when they came home, they had wives, they had families. You know what I mean? They had families to come home to, and guys nowadays don't fucking have that. That's the whole thing that is demoralizing about the state of the world right now, is that You go and work all these hours. This is what I was saying to my dad. I said, you work all these fucking hours, you come home, you're tired as shit, you just want to go to bed, right? But you have nothing at the end of the day. And that's what's so demoralizing is you come back home, it's just me and my dad and my dog and my cat. That's all I have. I don't have a girlfriend. I have some probably topic for another video. I'm in a talking stage with some girl online, but her name is Lily. But anyway, it doesn't feel real to me because it's just on the phone. You know what I mean? I can't go to a house and see my girlfriend. I can't. Most guys can't do that and have never done that. And speaking on the times thing between the generational gaps and the understanding of the market and the current social standing within my own generation, Generation Z, most people who are outside of Generation Z don't understand at all what's happening to Generation Z. Because I'm not saying like, oh, we have it so hard, but we don't have it good. I'll tell you that. um, I said to my friend at work, I'll say what I said to her at work, and then I'll say what I said the same thing to my dad, and I'll tell you what my dad said. My friend at work is also Gen X, the same as my father. And I said, what were you doing when you were in your 20s? And I looked at her, and we both pretty much said the same thing. I said, you were partying and you were dating. And we said it like, I said partying and dating, like at about the same time. And I said, you know what I've never done? I've never been to a party. And I've had only two girlfriends. One of them was serious, and that was it. The other one, I only was with her for like 2 months. So I've had two girlfriends in my entire life. I'm 20. I'm almost 21 years old. I'll be 21 years old this March. See what I'm saying? Like, you can't. It's so bizarre. This is indicative of a unhealthy society where I feel like Gen Z grew up too fast. We were like forced to grow up too fast. And this is tied to like the self improvement thing. Everyone kind of in Gen Z has the mindset of if I'm not improving, I'm wasting my time. And I kind of also have that. I wouldn't say I feel like I'm wasting my time by making this video, but I could be working out right now, even though I got extremely battered on Christmas. Didn't even take a break at work on Christmas yesterday. Um, but there's this just idea that if I'm not improving, I'm wasting my time. And this is a completely new idea, realistically, because you look at the Gen Z dating stats, and the reason why the dating stats are so bad, according to Google, is because dating trends are shifting towards just career focusedness. And I don't understand. I don't understand why that's happening. Because if you look at the dating trends, they say, oh, it's because the careers and the everyone's looking to make more money in the economical downturn. And I said, brother, this is a big fucking waste of time to be looking at it like this, because at the end of the day, you avoiding dating is not going to get you a date. You see what I'm saying? Like if I avoid dating like the plague and I just go, no, I'm focused on my career right now. Guess who's not gonna fucking date at all? I'm me. If I'm not trying to date, you're not going to date. That's the whole problem. So, but you look at any other generation, they never done this. They never did this because it makes no sense logically. Like the thing that makes me laugh so fucking hard is everyone's like, "Oh, I'm focused on my career right now." Everyone in Gen Z has a shit tier job. That's the funniest part about focusing on your career. Focusing on your fucking career gets you nothing anymore. That's the funniest part about this. is that you focus on your career, quotations, and what do you get? Like, me focusing on my career gets me fucking nothing. I'll be so honest with you. It gets me fucking nothing. And it's so funny that people actually like claim to believe that, oh, since I'm working all these hours at my job, I'm gonna get something. No, you get fucking nothing, bro. Every job I've worked, I've been focusing on my career the whole fucking time I was there. And guess what I got? A whole bunch of nothing. That's the worst part about that, bro, because I've clocked into every job I've ever had and worked my ass off for 8 hours. 8 hours or more. I was working basically 10-hour days when I used to work at Costco. And that got me nothing. I got fired from Costco. So, like I said, I worked there. I didn't even work there. I worked there like 2 months. I got fired from Costco. Because I wasn't improving enough. See what I'm saying to you, dude? You can't win. If they don't want you there, you can't win. But that's another video, another tangent, and another point entirely. But to cycle back to the thing where I said to my coworker that Gen Z people are not living like young people. We live like 30-year-olds. I'll be so fucking honest with you. We live like 30-year-olds. And it's so bizarre because I tell people I forget that I'm 20 all the time. I forget that I'm 20 years old and I'm just fresh out of high school, only 2 years. I forget that shit all the fucking time. Isn't that ridiculous? Because life is browbeating you constantly, and you have the self-improvement mindset at 20 years old. Like, most people were just out having fun. Out having fun. Because now there's this idea that, oh, well fun, if you're playing video games, you're a fucking loser. And it's like, I want to enjoy some of my downtime, fucker. I don't even play video games that much, and people will still be like, yeah, you're weird for playing video games. Like, not people, but like people online. Like, not personal people. But you understand what I'm getting at. And when I said to my father, I said, all my friends that I know, maybe my friends are just a bunch of fucking weirdos. I don't know, according to some people. I think they're normal people for the most part. I said to my father, I said, all my friends have never been dated. Ever. They've never dated. Like, all my male friends, my guy friends, have never had a girlfriend. Like, seriously. And this is some weirdo, bizarro shit. Because this is not typical, bro. This is not indicative of a healthy society from this generation standpoint. It's not indicative of anything healthy. Because I said to him, I said, you go back in time. Even the fucking ugly dudes had a girlfriend. You see what I'm saying? Like, even if you were kind of chopped cheese back in the 80s or 90s, you got with a girl who was kind of chopped cheese. It's just what happened. Like, you dated your looks level. You dated your equivalent. Now that doesn't fucking happen because all women want to date up, and if you're below like a fucking 5, if you're below a 5 or a 6, you're fucked. You're fucked. Because most women are at the 5 and 6, just like how most men are at the 5 and 6. So if the woman wants to date up to a 7, 8, you're fucked. You're fucked. Because guess what, dude? I know I'm not a 7, 8. I'll tell you right now, at the best, I'm a 6. At the best, I'm a 6.5. Because I'm physically fit. I'm physically fit and I have good beard and hair genetics. Guess what? As I age, the hair might fucking go away. So then I'll be a 5 again. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't, we're in a fucking overly looks-based world. It's a looks-first world, bro. Because some guy also said in another video, he said, women say they want a man who is dependable and trustworthy and loyal. And he said, no, you don't. You want a man who's all that, and who's handsome, and who's tall, and who's fit, and has money, and who's rich, and has a nice car, and who has, a nice house, and who's rich, because he kept saying who's rich, because that's like a big fucking deal to these women. And because if they really wanted a man who was loyal and dependable and a stand-up guy, that's like every fucking man on the planet. If you're nice to a guy, this is why a lot of women will abuse your mental state. Because if you're nice to a guy, they'll basically take you where you are. They actually know basically about it. They will take you as you are because you go watch. I think it's Jack Morgan RLP. He said in some video, he said, um, women are very choosy and picky, and men are like, they'll see a woman and they'll be like, she's not too bad, okay, and they'll like dust her off, and they'll be like, all right, yeah, this is mine now, this is my woman, and I'm her man, right? That's how men are. Men do not care, bro. Do not care. We don't give a shit about 99% the 99th percentile of what you look like. If you're down with us, we'll be down with you. Like most of the time. Like it's what's so fucking funny, bro. Is cuz like most men have a type, their type will disappear very quickly and their type is very like non-specific. Like I said to my one friend, I said, "Yeah, I like white girls the most, but like if a black chick was hitting on me and I kind of liked her and she wasn't like annoying, I'd date her. I'd go out with her." That's at the point we're at, bro. And this did kind of turn into a dating video again, a little bit towards the end here. But like, that's just how it goes, man. Men are not that picky about it, dude. Like straight up. We'll take what we can get. Because what we're getting is not, we're not getting anything, basically. My one friend, I feel so bad for him, dude. He's actually basically has a mental complex. Because he told me, he said, he said he's bisexual, but whatever. He said, I like guys and girls, but he said, a woman has never flirted with me ever. And he said, so I don't even know if I really experience attraction to women because they've never ever showed interest in me. So he said, I don't even know if I like them because they've never fucking talked to me. And that is some crazy, insane shit, dude. And I feel bad for him because he could definitely pull. He could pull. Is he like a high tier male? Not really. But, COVID happened to him and he never really recovered from COVID because I don't know what happened to him, but he got heavier, is what I'll say. But if he lost the weight, he could definitely pull. He could, because he's tall. He's like he's probably like 6'1" or 2. Because he's marginally taller than me. So if he lost the weight, he could pull. But like that's how it goes. And like my standard up until like a week or two ago was like I want a woman who's basically a virgin. Because I'm basically a virgin. I've only had one body. I only have one body. And even my dad was like, he's like, you might as well quit looking now. Because women don't wait no more, is what he told me. And that's what he fucking told me. That's not even my opinion. That's just what he told me. And I was like, if you're out here, like, I'll keep it for real. This will be the last thing I say, and the camera's probably going to cut off. I would say, if you're out here looking for a virgin woman, you better fucking forget it, bro. You better fucking forget it. Because the society in which we live is so sexually oriented and so just geared towards that pretty much everyone has fucked somebody and pretty much everyone has done some sexual shit with somebody else because we live in a society that tells you need to do that by a certain age or you're like a fucking loser. And that's what happened to me. I was pressured into having sex with my ex-girlfriend. Did I want to? Yes. Was I ready? No. I was not ready to do that, and it happened anyway. Because she wanted to do it. And now I'm no longer, I was supposed to be waiting till marriage because I'm a Christian, but that didn't happen. And a lot of people are not going to do that either. And she was also a Christian, and I was like her third or second boyfriend that had done that with her. And I'm not saying like it's over, but we need to adapt to the modern world, ladies and gentlemen, and specifically the gentlemen. Because if we don't adapt to the modern world, we're not going to get anywhere. Because the world we wanted to grow up in doesn't exist anymore. The world where you got with a woman young and you had kids and you got married young doesn't exist anymore. Because we need to adapt to what's happening now.